Hello and welcome to the Pearlie I Review. I'm PJ. I finally finished watching the season finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I got some thoughts about it, and I want to share them with you. So along with sharing my thoughts, I'm going to do a scene by scene of pretty much what happened overall in the final episode of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Okay, let's get to it. The episode opens up with Reva looking for Owen Lars on Tatooine. How she got to Tatooine, I have no clue. It seemed like it was a place that was a bit deserted, so how Reva managed to get her wounded stomach onto whatever ship she got to make it to Tatooine, magically teleported herself to Tatooine, and she asked somebody in town, and Owen happens to be in town at the same time. They didn't run into Reva for whatever reason. Owen and Luke are in town, and the same person that Reva asked where was Owen Lars, that person goes to Owen and says, hey, somebody strange is looking for you, so you need to go home and you know, prepare yourself and look out. So Owen is alerted that Luke is in danger. We cut to a scene that well, didn't need to be there. This could have easily been taken care of the previous episode. I don't know why this was in this episode, where Obi-Wan, he's still on the ship, and he decides at the last minute, you know what, I'm going to leave because the Imperial ship that Darth Vader is on is chasing us, so I'm gonna take a little smaller ship that's within the ship I'm on and divert them somewhere else so they can follow me. That's what Obi-Wan is thinking. I'm like, this did not need to be in this episode. We're wasting time. Just do what you're gonna do. You could have done this in the previous episode. This did not need to be here in this episode. He asked the smuggler people, hey, make sure Leia gets to Alderaan. And he takes the ship, and then Darth Vader on the Imperial ship commands that, okay, that's Obi-Wan, go follow him. And the Grand Inquisitor's like, but we need to stay on course, because the smugglers, if we take care of them, we can break them down. He's like, no. Darth Vader's like, no, I want Obi-Wan, let's follow him. And Grand Inquisitor's like, alright. Again, the Imperial ship turns its direction to Obi-Wan, who's back to Tatooine. Owen comes home with Luke. He talks to Aunt Beru. Owen says to Aunt Beru, hey, I just heard in town that somebody is coming here to kill Luke. Somebody's coming here. We need to run away. And Beru's like, no, we need to stay here. We need to, fight. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. Didn't in the first episode, now this kind of, this kind of confused me. Now, in the first episode, Owen was really willing to fight anyone who came to get Luke. Now he's like, hey, let's just run away. I'm like, and Aunt Beru's like, no, let's stay. We prepared for this for 10 years. I'm like, yeah, did you forget Owen? I don't know what, it's just, I can understand he's anxious. That's one thing, but it's like, man, let's just run away. Like they haven't been preparing for something like this. They're surrounded by sand people all day long. So why is he, just like, I'm gonna run away? And Aunt Beru's like, no, let's stay and fight. I don't understand that. Here's the thing. I like how assertive Aunt Beru is, but we don't need to dumb down Uncle Owen to make her look good. They're in this together. They both love Luke, and they're both capable of taking care of him. Owen's like, it should have been more of Owen asking her, like, hey, okay, do you want to stick to the plan of we're going to take our rifle blasters and try and fight it out, or do you want to run? Then Aunt Beru should have said, no, I want to stick to the plan as we practice or plan all these years, all these 10 years, we're going to stay and fight. They don't really tell Luke what's going on. They just say, will you hide? It's like the area where in episode 4, C-3PO was in. So cut back to Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. Obi-Wan's still being chased. Obi-Wan comes across, I don't know what planet this is, but some random planet that's dark and you can't see it. It's like some type of rock planet. So that's where Obi-Wan goes and lands. Darth Vader tells everyone to prepare his ship so he can land. Take the smaller ship within the big Imperial ship to land to go up Obi-Wan, pretty much. For some reason, Obi-Wan took Leia's droid. I don't know why. Because I thought he was going to do something with the droid, the little Lola disc droid, and he just has it with him, I guess, for comfort. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. So he gets out of the ship, and then Darth Vader comes and lands, and they square off. They start looking at each other, and they get to fighting. And I don't know. Some people may not like this fight. I thought the first fight they had, the coal mine planet, I thought it was just fine. A lot of people felt it was too fan-made looking. I thought it was fine. This was just as good. It was a very just dirty fight. It was even more personal here. There are some things in this that are just spectacular. At some point, Darth Vader uses, which is this scene is pretty cool, and he uses the Force to vibrate the ground, split it open, and make Obi-Wan fall down, and then Darth Vader buries Obi-Wan with all the rocks and dirt and rubble, buries Obi-Wan alive, and he's trapped and he can't move. And I don't know why, he's still alive, and Darth Vader's like, yeah, you can't win, something he says, you'll never win or whatever, and he walks away. I'm like, Obi-Wan's not dead, so why are you walking away? And Obi-Wan's trapped and he's struggling to get out. Pause right there. Back to the farm. Anyways, Reva comes, she starts attacking and swinging at Aunt Beru and Owen. They're pretty much doing a Bonnie and Clyde on Reva, lighting her up, and she's just, dodging all that stuff, and it was pretty interesting to see Uncle Owen fight with Reva and just them trying to defend their home. I thought that was pretty cool. That they know that they really don't have a chance, but at least they're normal people trying to fight. And she gets to the area where Luke is. She knocks Uncle Owen down, and Aunt Beru's in there. She tells Luke to run. Luke does not see anything because he has his back to everything because he's climbing up a ladder. So he doesn't see Reva. He doesn't see the bright ass red lightsaber in the nick of time, because I'm like, y'all getting a little too close, messing up with continuity, because I'm like, Luke does not see a lightsaber until he's like 19, 20 years old when Obi-Wan gives him his father's lightsaber. So I'm like, but he doesn't see anything. All he knows is when he's running, because Aunt Beru's knocked down and Uncle Owen's knocked down, and he's running in the middle of the desert in the dark, Luke is, and he just sees a dark figure coming after him. She doesn't light up that lightsaber, he just knows somebody's chasing after him. So he runs towards the hills. Reva's trying to get Luke, and he's running around, trying to hide from her throughout the hills and whatnot. And she's trying to get him, and eventually she catches up to him. So pause on that. Back to Obi-Wan and Anakin. I'm like, this part, of course, was predictable. Obi-Wan literally has a Spider-Man Homecoming moment. Where Spider-Man was trapped under the rubble, and then he starts getting inspired. He starts thinking about the people that inspire him. He literally has that moment where he just comes up, charged up and comes out of the dirt. Darth Vader's like, okay. I'm thinking, you should have killed him. Of course he's gonna get back up. And then Obi-Wan has all the rocks floating around him, and he starts throwing them at Darth Vader, throwing them, pounding them. Now, this was pretty cool. And Darth Vader's like, woo! They go at it again. Him and Obi-Wan start going at it again. And this moment, they borrowed something from Rebels. I don't mind. It's always cool. It's cool to see this in live action. holy Moses. He eventually, well, at first, before I get to that cool moment, Obi-Wan stabs Vader in the stomach where he has all those buttons and stuff. Like, gets Darth Vader, wham, whacks him in the mask, and it like cracks his helmet / mask thing. And you can see Darth Vader's like, Darth Vader's having an asthma attack. I like how in this it's a bit more creepy. It's doing that same thing that he did in Rebels. And you can hear Anakin's voice, but also hear Darth Vader's voice. That means he's in between, you know, light and dark. So it's kind of creepy to hear his voice transition back and forth to Anakin, and then transition like this creepy, like demonic voice into something familiar, like just this broken man. You know, Anakin, it's so creepy. He looks horrific. I love the makeup in this. Hayden Christensen did a really good job in this. He looks scary. Of course, as I said before, we've seen this before in Rebels. It's just cool to see it in live action. I like how they just made Darth Vader into a monster. That's what he is. He looks scary, and you can hear him. And this is the most touching scene where Obi-Wan sees Anakin's face and he just says, "I'm so sorry." Obi-Wan has tears in his eyes because he wants so badly to save Anakin. He's like, just stop. I'm sorry. He keeps saying, "I'm sorry," with tears in his eyes. Like, Obi-Wan keeps saying that to him. And Darth Vader's like, I think he says something like, you didn't kill him, I did. That's what the Darth Vader side says, and like kind of makes it seem like he's being taken over. And we know that's not true. He's still struggling with the light and dark. He's still two people. But yeah, they do this sort of cool effect where you can hear Anakin speaking, and you see like flashes of Obi-Wan's lightsaber, like the light on his face, like the blue, indicating to let you know that's Anakin speaking. And then when he's like done talking, Anakin is done talking, Darth Vader takes over, and then Darth Vader's lightsaber, you can see the light from his. I thought that was a cool metaphor and effect to show the light and dark side of Anakin. What you can tell that he's still struggling, but Obi-Wan thinks that there's no hope for him. He's just hurt that he's not the one to save him. Of course, fast forward to Return of the Jedi, we realize it's his son that is supposed to save him, not his master. Because Anakin saw, you know, himself in his son. He saw the young man that he used to be. Yeah, and he realized what he was doing was finally wrong. Obi-Wan takes pity on him and just says something like, "Well, then my friend really is dead," and just leaves him. He leaves Anakin just pretty much messed up. Well, Darth Vader messed up, and he's just wheezing. He's like, "Man, wait till I get fixed." Back to... This goes on way too long. Obi-Wan hightails that he feels a disturbance in the Force where he realizes, oh, Luke's in trouble, so I need to, put in the coordinates to hyperspeed, not flick the hyperspeed on and off like a flashlight in, what was that, the Rise of Skywalker. No, I have to put in the correct coordinates so I don't smash into something, so I can hyperspeed back to Tatooine to help Aunt Beru, Uncle Owen, and Luke. So he gets there, and he sees Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen shouting for Luke because they don't know where he is. Obi-Wan says, I'll check the sand dunes. I'll try to find him there. You know, we won't stop until we find him. And then they see a dark figure coming. They're like, they know it's Reva. And then Reva has something in her arms. It's Luke. So she took pity on Luke because back when she, cornered him, she saw herself in him. Kind of like, fast forward to Return of the Jedi, how Darth Vader will see himself in Luke. So Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen scoop him up and take him inside. And Reva's crying because she realized she's just lost and whatever, she has no purpose. I mean, we could have told you that, Reva. And, I don't know. I had to actually go back and rewatch this scene because I'm like, am I missing something? Because Obi-Wan and Reva have this exchange and he just says, oh, you're free. And then we just cut. We don't know where she went or what happened to her. I'm like, okay. What was the whole point of Reva? I did not like what happened to her. She just disappeared. I don't get it. She was a waste of time. And anyways, I'll get into that later. Back to, Darth Vader. He's talking to the Emperor, of course, and the Emperor's like, you need to get your feelings straight. You need to really put yourself fully in the dark side. Don't let your feelings for Obi-Wan get to you. Darth Vader tells the Emperor, like, no, I don't have any feelings for Obi-Wan. I'm fine. I'm with the dark side. The Imperial March is it plays, and you know that he's gonna just cause all types of hell throughout the galaxy. Okay, go off and be a badass. That's his ending. Then we go back to Tatooine. It's daytime now. Obi-Wan comes back to check on them, and Luke's outside in the distance. And Owen's like, hey, what are you doing here? If I were Obi-Wan, I'd be like, how about a thank you? Okay? Anyways. And then Uncle Owen says, hey, you want to meet Luke? That was a weird question to me that he asked, do you want to meet Luke? The question should be, hey, do you want to say hello to Luke? Because he's already met Luke. He's the one who brought him to you, Uncle Owen, when he was a baby. I didn't understand that question, but whatever. Maybe I'm being too nitpicky about it. I did like this scene. It gave me a chuckle. Obi-Wan walks up to Luke. He has a little toy with him. And he says to Luke, hello there. the hello there. To Luke. And they, of course, off-camera introduce themselves. So that's the end of that. And then there was something else weird. We cut to Alderaan, and Leia is getting ready to meet whoever's coming. As a princess, she has to meet people and welcome them and make peace treaties with her parents as a little girl. They're trying to groom her to be a leader. This is bizarre. I'm thinking it's going to be somebody important. It's Obi-Wan? Why? Okay. Now, you're supposed to be still in hiding. Why in the world is Obi-Wan making the trip back, just going to Alderaan? Why are you doing this? He went to Alderaan just to give her back her saucer droid, the Lola droid. I'm like, I can understand him maybe sending a hologram message to Bail Organa saying, hey, how is she? Did Leia make it safe? Yeah. Organa saying thank you. I understand you had to run back to Tatooine to help out Aunt Beru and Owen, but I'm grateful for your services. Just to give her back her droid and just to say a few words about her parents. I'm like, the conversation about Padme and Anakin should have been between Bail Organa and the queen, whatever Bail Organa's wife is, Leia's adoptive parents. They should have filled her in on pieces of who her parents were, because I'm like, they both knew them. You know what I mean? That shouldn't have been Obi-Wan's job. Why did he make that trip? You're endangering yourself and Luke. Anyways, I have all kinds of problems with this. Back on Tatooine again. Obi-Wan clears out the little cave he was staying in, and then he travels on his space camel horse to go to the area where you finally see his final home, where Luke went to in episode 4. And surprise, surprise. I'm like, I squealed, I screamed, I love this part. Liam Neeson, you're a very good liar, and I like it. Qui-Gon Jinn makes an appearance as a Force ghost and pretty much tells Obi-Wan, hey, you got a lot to learn. So he's going to teach Obi-Wan how to transition into the Force and live on as a Force ghost. And that's it. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series, ends right there. My overall thoughts about this. Me personally, I enjoyed this series. I always want to encourage people, look, watch it first before you give your final verdict, because you may like it, but if you don't like the prequels, this may not be for you, but I say give it a chance and watch it. I just want to add, I like this better than Boba Fett. There are some people moaning and groaning about this series. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's actually enjoyable. There are a lot of second chances in this series. Well-deserved second chances. Ewan McGregor, especially Hayden Christensen, that people really dogged out with his performances with the prequels. I'm like, it's kind of like the same situation with those sequel people. Don't shoot the messenger. They didn't write this stuff. But, here's the thing. I don't go around hating actors. I just don't like their performances. I may not like their performances, but I'm not going to be on social media harassing these people because I didn't like their performance. I got better things to do. You know what I'm saying? It's just not right. But look, you don't have to like it, but you don't have to harass people. You know what I mean? And their redemption in this, just the dialogue is still but that's all Star Wars. The dialogue has never been great. So, but it's just, it's just better delivered here. There's better direction. Is it perfect? No, it's shaky. It's shaky. But they got a chance to show more emotion. It just wasn't so wood. It's just, they had time to really show Obi-Wan and Anakin's friendship. That's what I appreciated, because that just wasn't shown with the live action movies. It was shown heavily throughout the Clone Wars. But it's nice to see some of that in live action. Yeah, it's like a tie-in to the vibe of the Clone Wars series, animated series, and really going a little bit further with the prequels, just putting some emotion in there. I can't say it enough. Ewan McGregor stole the show throughout this whole series. Darth Vader was also great. The Inquisitors, I don't get it. They really throughout the series, give them nothing to do. They try to do something with Reva, but why couldn't she just be an Inquisitor? Did we have to give her that whack backstory? Like, as if we didn't know that she was the girl. I'm like, the show is not called Reva. It's called Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're dealing with his stuff. The side story did not need to happen. And then she, towards the end of this episode, disappears and we don't know what happened to her. I don't want to see her again. I don't want to see her. No. Is she gonna show up in what is it, Ahsoka? I don't want it. She doesn't make any sense. This character does not make any sense, okay? No. I don't get it. Oh God. You had these cool characters and you did nothing with it. Why put the Inquisitors in here in the first place? Just Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. That's all we needed. Alright. Joel Edgerton, I hope I'm saying his last name right. Uncle Owen, he plays a good young Uncle Owen, and Aunt Beru, they are so good in this. Except for them just making him stupid for a moment, just fight together. Just do what you need to do. When they got down to defending their home, that was fun. And then protecting Luke, it reminded me of like old Western. Little Luke. They didn't give him much to do, but at least he wasn't whining, and he did what he was told. Well, he kind of protested and said, well, I'm not afraid, but he did as he was told. So he wasn't, trying to be a hero. It was like, little boy, run. You don't know how to fight. You're not as feisty as your little sister. Just run. That's what y'all do best. At least you know how to run. Your sister can't. So I'm sorry. I like little Luke. He was adorable. I like little Leia. Some people were kind of iffy about her. I just liked how sassy she was. This is a must-see. It's entertaining. I liked it. Now, there's some talk about, on the interwebs, about, ooh, should there be a season 2? Not a season 2, but I think I mentioned this before. I think there should be a Darth Vader series telling his perspective, not of the same situation, but maybe a year later showing how he's struggling in between the light and dark and how the Emperor is still manipulating him. The comic books, I mean, they have it right there in their fingertips, and it's amazing how these people won't sit, they're in charge, and they won't sit down and read the source material, which this stuff is based off of. It's so easy. And make it 10 episodes, not 6. So, overall, I like this series. What did you guys think? Did you like Obi-Wan Kenobi, or did you not like this series? Please like and subscribe and ring the bell, and thank you for watching the Pearlie Eye review.